You. It is a Monday across the world. Chris Soriano with you. We have so much to get to. Oh, Giants laying an egg last night on primetime in terms of the sports. Horrible Saturday of college football. My fantasy football team is in jeopardy of going 0-3. Jets embarrass themselves. Their coach embarrasses themselves on the world stage. Eagles win a big one. Browns beat the Packers. Just so much. Cowboys defense shows that they're just not ready for prime time. Mets now out of the playoff race if the season ended today. I'm still holding out hope here. Again, I think the Reds are going to falter here. I wouldn't put too much stock into it. Oh, Cincinnati's got Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh could easily take 2 out of 3. Cincinnati does not impress me. Mets last year also, just when you think their backs are up against the wall, they find ways to win and shock you. I would not count the Mets out. Certainly not by any stretch of the imagination. Yankees continue to stay hot. Rondon and Fried have been a breath of fresh air. Really the only constant with this team. And Schitler's been pretty good for the Yankee rotation. So they are playing extremely well. Again, it's the team that you have to beat, but they're beating them, and they're beating them pretty good. So the Yankees, and they're only two back, and they have a big homestand this week with the White Sox and the Orioles. Now, we bring ourselves to something more serious, and that's what's going on in the world and Trump and Jimmy Kimmel and all this crap and the Charlie Kirk memorial yesterday. It's just too much for me to handle. It really is. I'm tired of it. By the way, if you want to get a part of the program, see Soriano1619 at gmail.com. Send your emails, your comments we'll get on the broadcast. But I don't know. Where do I even begin? There's just, we are more than a week out of Charlie Kirk getting murdered, and there has not been any unity at all whatsoever. If anything, there has been more divide, more hate since this man was brutally gunned down. People have advocated for it. People in Congress and the Senate, political figures, have congratulated basically the shooter and said this is pretty much great. And they're blaming the MAGA crowd, as Jimmy Kimmel calls them. MAGAs and the Republicans are blaming the left for all of it. It's just a mess. Trump made a people go, oh well, he was joking around. I don't think there was a time for it. Like with the joke last night at the Charlie Kirk memorial, where Charlie had empathy and Charlie loved his enemies or his critics. I don't. I hate them. This is what I'm talking about. And they're gonna sit there and spin it that it was a joke, and Sean Hannity's gonna sit there and take the white goo of Trump out of his mouth and go, yep, yep, that's right, it was a joke, that's right, that's right, that's right, it was a joke, that's right, that's right, that's right. Even though if Obama did it or Biden did it, Hannity would be like, no, it's wrong, no, it's wrong, no, it's wrong, no, it's wrong. That's why Sean Hannity is just another weasel in the conservative talk radio movement that is just going downhill more by the day. I mean, when you sit there, I was tuning into my old place of employment, AM 970. And my God, in prime time, 6 o'clock hour in New York, they have Arthur Aidala on the radio. Arthur Aidala with the Power Hour. I mean, come on, are we serious? This is what we're putting out in New York in drive time in the afternoon. Again, AM conservative talk radio is just going in the crapper with stuff like that, and I don't know what WOR has with the morning show, and I mean, I like Sid in the morning. Brian Kilmeade is awful on ABC. OR Simone's great. After that, it's a steep drop. I don't know that guy on OR at night from 6 to 9. That guy's a whack job. Levin's only broadcast for 2 hours, but then again, Levin's been torquing me off lately. And they have Roger Stone. I mean, come on, really, really. I mean, if you couldn't hate conservative talk radio enough, you have this moron on the air. But the Democrats, they are not free from criticism. They sit there and they say that they are the party of peace, the party of unity. And that's what I think pisses me off about it. If they were just straight up like, yeah, fuck everybody, then they, you know what? Okay. They own it at least. At least the Democrats own it. They don't. And you had Jasmine Crockett, what's that? What was that song? Little Ghetto Superstar? Um, it was a tremendous, tremendous song. Uh, but pretty much, um, she went on the radio on one of those shows in the morning. Either I think it was either Hot 97 or Power 105.1, and she goes, "Give me one example of Democrats enticing violence or Democrats with hate speech coming out of their mouth. I challenge anyone to do that." Well, that's great, Mrs. Crockett, because challenge has been accepted.
I just don't even know why there aren't uprisings all over the country. Maybe there will be. People need to start taking to the streets. This is a dictator. You know, there needs to be unrest in the streets for as long as there's unrest in our lives. Enemies of the state.
Show me where it says that protests are supposed to be polite and peaceful.
Do something about your dad's immigration practices, you feckless.
They go low, we can.
How do you resist the temptation to run up and wring her neck?
Biggest terror threat in this country is white men, most of them radicalized right up to the right.
I thought he should have punched him in the face. I said, even if you lost, he insulted your wife.
Yes.
He on the escalator and called Mexicans rapists and murderers. He said, well, what do you think I should have done? I said, I think you should have punched him in the face and then gotten out of the race. You would have been a hero.
I'd like to punch him in the face. I said if we were in high school, I'd take him behind the gym and beat the hell out of him. Punch some people in the face!
When was the last time an actor assassinated a president?
They're still going to have to go out and put a bullet in Donald Trump, and that's a fact.
Look, as his character is stabbed to death.
Where is John Wilkes Booth when you need him?
This right there. That's it right there. Up.
I have thought an awful lot about blowing up the White House.
A Missouri state senator is under investigation by the Secret Service after saying she hopes President Trump is assassinated.
I will go and take Trump out tonight. And if you see anybody from that cabinet in a restaurant, in a department store, in a gasoline station, you get out and you
And that's more hate from Maxine Waters, but it gets better, folks.
that is domestic enemies to our voting system. Constitution are right at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue.
They're not going to stop before Election Day in November, and they're not going to stop after Election Day. And that should be, everyone should take note of that on both levels, that this isn't, they're not going to let up, and they should not.
But you think we are running and not saying nothing yet?
So, I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm a little off on this. Maybe I'm kind of reaching a little bit, if you know what I mean. But no, we've sat here, we've seen the Snoop Dogg video of him assassinating a person wearing a Donald Trump mask, Kathy Griffin with the bloody Trump head. We've seen Maxine Waters with her hate and all these other people. Don Lemon basically saying that everyone that's white is terrible. So, what do you think is going to happen? If you're somebody that is listening to that, you could get angry, right? You can get fired up. You could take some action. You could shoot somebody. So this notion that nothing from the left, I'm not saying that I'm sitting here personally putting blame on people, but you gotta have like, because again, there's the mental health factor, and I totally agree with that. However, you have to agree, we have to agree at some point that there's got to be some blood on the hands of the Democrats here. After what you just heard, and we'll have the full video up on Soriano Network with this is the audio version. So if you're listening to this on the audio, obviously you won't be able to see some of the things that obviously you heard the gunshots and everything. But we'll have the video up for you, and you'll see it, and it's disturbing. And I think really we have to tone down the temperature on both sides. I really do. I really do. And to me, I think that's what Trump should be doing. Now I know you could sit there and say, you know what, F them all. They've caused this. Yeah, but shouldn't we be the better people? Because if we don't, it could get even uglier than what we're seeing. And how much more bloodshed do we want as a country? So someone's got to unite us. Is it going to be Trump? Is it going to be someone in the Congress? Is it going to be the Senate? Or is it going to be, a political tragedy so vile, so heinous that we have no choice but to unite? I don't think we want to go that route. So, um, again, I think we have to really tone it down on both sides. Um, but let's call it for what it is. Democrat Party of peace, Party of pieces of garbage, hateful pieces of garbage. Prove me wrong.